Happy morning, children. Today we are going to see about the degrees of price elasticity of demand. That one is a continuation of a previous class. All of you understand that levels and degrees of price elasticity. Now I recall all the degrees. See this diagram, children. The x-axis denoted the quantity demanded, the y-axis denote the price, the demand curve also sloping downwards from left to right. Okay, here the midpoint is called a unit elastic. The beginning point is the perfectly elastic. Then the midpoint between the midpoint and perfect elastic is called the relatively elastic. The lower segment, 2 points are there. The next to unit elastic, first one is the relatively inelastic, and the last point is called the perfectly inelastic. These are the 5 important degrees. The shape of a demand curve is first one is a horizontal line. Then next one is a 0 to equal to 0 is a vertical line. Horizontal is a point A. The vertical line is a point E. Then is equal to 1 is a unitary elastic, is a rectangular hyperpolo. That is called a rectangular hyperpolo. Then the less than 1 is a steeper. Less than 1 is a steeper and greater than 1 is a flatter. These are the important degrees and shape of the demand curve. All of you understand, children? Okay. Then next one is a determinants of elastic of demand. There are many factors that determine the degree of price elasticity of demand. Some of them are described below. The first one is availability of substitutes. First one is availability of substitutes. If the close substitutes are available for the product, then the demand for the product tends to be the very elastic. If the price of that particular product increases, buyer will buy the substitutes. Hence the fall in the demands is very large, hence the price of elasticity is larger. Example, vegetables. For the salt, no close substitutes are available. Hence, even if the price of the salt increases, or the fall in the demand may be 0 or less. Hence, salt is a price inelastic. Okay. Then next one is the proportions of the consumers' income spent. If a smaller proportion of consumers' income is spent on the particular commodity, say X, the price elasticity of demand for X will smaller. Take the same example, the salt. The people spend very small proportion of their income on the salt. Hence, the salt will give a small elasticity of demand or inelastic. Then third one is a number of uses of commodity. If the commodity is used for greater number of uses, its price elasticity will also be larger. For example, milk is used as a buttermilk, curd, ghee, and for making ice cream, etc. Hence, even the small fall in the price of milk will tempt the consumers to use the more milk for many purposes. Hence, the milk has a greater price elasticity of demand. The another example of number of uses of commodity is electricity, power. The electricity, when the unit of electricity rate is very low, the consumers use the so many purpose. Okay, using iron box, using refrigerator, fan, AC, oven and cook stove, whatever they want. So the best example is the electricity also. Okay, the next one is the complementary. It's between the goods, complementary between the goods. For example, oil is also used for running automobiles. Here a rise in the price in elastic. Okay, then the next one is the time. Next one is the time. In the long run, the price elasticity of demand for many goods will be larger. This is so because in the long run, many substitutes can be discovered or invented. Therefore, the demand is generally more elastic in the long run than in the short run. In the short run, bringing out a new substitutes is difficult. Yes, the plastics and iron rod. These are the important long run product and short run product. All of you understand, children? Yes, these are the determinants of the elasticity of demand. The determinant is five different determinant. First one, availability of the substitutes products. Second one is the proportion of the consumer's income spent. Then third one is the number of uses of commodity. Fourth one is a complementary between goods, and the fifth one is a time. The next one is a measurement of elasticity of demand. How to measure the elasticity of demand? Here three important ways given. The percentage method, the second one is the total outlay method, third one is the point or geometrical method. These are the three different types of methods to measure the elasticity of demand. The first one is the percentage method. The percentage method, the equations, price elasticity of demand is equal to EP is equal to delta Q divided by delta P into P divided by Q. It is also known as the ratio method. When we measure the ratio as price elasticity, EP is equal to percentage delta Q divided by percentage delta P, where percentage delta Q is equal to percentage change in demand. Percentage delta P is a percentage change in price. The percentage elasticity, price elasticity demand formula is equal to percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in price. This is the percentage method. Then second one is the total outlay method. Total outlay method. Marshall suggested that the simplest way to decide whether demand is elastic or inelastic is to examine the change in the total outlay of the consumer or total revenue of the firm. The total revenue is equal to price in quantity sold. TR is equal to P into Q. See the tabular column, children. The price and then quantity demanded. Third column is the total outlay. Fourth one is the elasticity. The price is 150, quantity demanded 3. The total outlay is a 450. That is the P into Q, price into quantity demanded. So 150 into 3 is 450. Then price is 125, quantity demanded 4. The 125 into 4 is equal to 500. Then price is 100, the quantity demanded is a 5. The total outlay is a 500. Then price is 75, the quantity demanded is a 6. 75 into 6 for 450. Now the position of elasticity 450. 450 is a elasticity is greater than 1. Then second and third 500 is equal to 1, and for 450 is less than 1. Where there is an inverse relationship between price and total outlay, demand is elastic. Direct relation means inelastic. Elasticity is unity when the total outlay is constant. See the diagram also, the total expenditure, the outlay method, the price, and the x-axis denotes the total expenditure. So greater than 1, so equal to 1, and the less than 1. This is the calculation of total outlay method of to the elasticity of price, elasticity of demand. Then third one is a point or geometrical method. When the demand curve is a straight line, it is said to be the linear. Graphically, the point elasticity of a linear demand curve is shown by the ratio of the segment of the line to the right and to left of the particular point. See the diagram, children. X-axis denotes the quantity demanded, the y-axis denotes the price. The demand curve also sloping downwards from left to right. The middle line is OP. That OP line is divided into two parts of a demand curve. Top is upper segment and bottom is lower segment. The 5 different points are denoted. That one is a R, Q, P, S, M. So R is price elasticity is equal to infinite. Q is price elasticity is greater than 1. P is price elasticity is equal to 1. S is price elasticity is less than 1. Then point M is price elasticity is equal to 0. This is the point method. Okay. Then all of you understand 3 different types of methods: the percentage method, total outlay method, and point geometrical method. All of you understand, children? Yes, these 3 are very important measurement of elasticity of demand. The next we are going to see about importance of elasticity of demand, importance of price elasticity, income elasticity of demand. The concept of elasticity of demand is of the much practical importance. First one is the price fixation. Second one is the production. Third one is the distribution. Fourth one is the international trade. Fifth one is the public finance. Sixth one is the nationalization. The first one is the price fixation. Each sellers under the monopoly and imperfect competition has to take into account the elasticity of demand while fixing the price for the product. If the demand for the product is inelastic, he can fix the price. The production means the producers generally decide the production level on the basis of the demand for the product. Distribution means elasticity of demand also helps to determination of a reward for the factors of production. Then fourth one is elasticity of demand. International trade means the elasticity of demand helps finding out of the terms of trade between two countries. The terms of trade depends upon the elasticity of demand for the goods of two countries. The next importance is the public finance. Elasticity of demand helps the government for formulating the tax policies, for example, for imposing the tax on commodity. Then last importance is the nationalization. The concept of elasticity of demand enabled the government to decide over the nationalization of industries. These are the importance of the elasticity of demand. That's all for today's class, children.